NEC Section 314.16 states that underground raceways shall be installed at least 18 inches deep where not subject to heavy vehicular traffic and at least 24 inches deep where subject to heavy vehicular traffic. The ENT is installed under slab, which is typically considered subject to heavy vehicular traffic. NEC Section 350.22b states that underground cables shall be installed in raceways in accordance with the requirements for the specific type of underground cable installed. NEC Section 350.22g states that non-metallic sheath cables shall not be installed where exposed to direct sunlight or underground. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, requires underground raceways to be installed at a certain depth to protect the cables within from damage. Installing the ENT underslab, which is likely to experience heavy vehicular traffic without meeting the required depth, violates NEC Section 314.16a. Underground cables must be installed in raceways that are suitable for the type of cable being installed. NM cables, which include 12/2 NM cables, are not approved for direct burial. Therefore, they must be installed in a raceway that complies with NEC Section 350.22b. NM cables are not rated for direct sunlight or underground exposure. Therefore, they cannot be installed in raceways that expose them to these conditions, as required by NEC Section 350.22g. When installing electrical wiring underground, it's crucial to adhere to the National Electrical Code, or NEC, to ensure safety and prevent potential hazards. One common question arises regarding the installation of non-metallic, or NM, cable under slab. NM cable, such as 12/2 NM cable, is commonly used for residential wiring, but its suitability for underground installations is limited by the NEC. Firstly, NEC Section 314.16 specifies the required burial depth for underground raceways. The depth depends on whether the raceway is subject to heavy vehicular traffic. If the raceway is not subject to heavy vehicular traffic, it must be installed at least 18 inches deep. If it is subject to heavy vehicular traffic, it must be installed at least 24 inches deep. Installing electrical metallic tubing, or ENT, underslab typically implies that it is subject to heavy vehicular traffic, even if it's a residential setting requiring a depth of at least 24 inches. Secondly, NEC Section 350.22b mandates that underground cables must be installed in raceways that are suitable for the type of cable being installed. This is a critical consideration when using NM cable underground. NM cable is not designed or approved for direct burial because its outer jacket is not resistant to moisture, chemicals, and physical damage that can occur underground. Therefore, NM cable must be installed within a raceway that provides adequate protection. Thirdly, NEC Section 350.22g explicitly states that NM cable shall not be installed where exposed to direct sunlight or underground. This restriction is due to the composition of the NM cable's jacket, which can degrade when exposed to ultraviolet, or UV, radiation from sunlight or the damp, corrosive conditions found underground. In summary, NM cables should not be installed directly under slab, especially without proper protection and adherence to the required burial depths. The NEC provides these guidelines to ensure the safety and longevity of electrical installations. When installing wiring under slab, consider using cable types specifically rated for direct burial, such as underground feeder or off cable, or install NM cable within a suitable raceway buried at the appropriate depth. It's always advisable to consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector to ensure compliance with local codes and regulations. This helps prevent electrical hazards and ensures the safety of the electrical system. The purpose of the NEC is to provide a standardized set of rules and guidelines for electrical installations. These rules are based on proven engineering principles and are designed to protect people and property from electrical hazards. Compliance with the NEC is essential for ensuring the safe operation of electrical systems. Several factors contribute to the unsuitability of NM cable for direct burial or underslab installation. The primary reason is the cable's jacketing material. NM cable typically has a polyvinyl chloride, or PVC, jacket that is not rated for direct contact with soil or exposure to moisture. Over time, moisture can penetrate the jacket, leading to corrosion of the conductors and eventual failure of the cable. The soil itself can contain chemicals and minerals that can degrade the PVC jacket, further reducing its lifespan. Another factor is the potential for physical damage. Underground cables are susceptible to damage from rocks, roots, and other objects in the soil. An NEC cable is not designed to withstand these types of physical stresses, which can lead to insulation damage and short circuits. The NEC recognizes these limitations and provides specific guidelines for underground installations. The requirement for a minimum burial depth helps protect underground raceways from physical damage. The use of suitable raceways, such as rigid metal conduit, or RMC, intermediate metal conduit, or AMC, or Schedule 40 PVC, provides additional protection for the cables inside. These raceways are designed to withstand the rigors of underground environments and provide a barrier against moisture, chemicals, and physical damage. When installing cables underground, it is crucial to select the appropriate type of cable and raceway for the specific application. UF cable, for example, is specifically designed for direct burial and has a jacketing material that is resistant to moisture, chemicals, and physical damage. However, even UF cable must be installed at the appropriate depth and in accordance with the NEC. In addition to the type of cable and raceway, proper installation techniques are also essential. Trench should be free of sharp rocks and debris that could damage the cable or raceway. The cable or raceway should be properly supported and secured to prevent movement or stress. Backfilling should be done carefully to avoid damaging the cable or raceway. When installing raceways underground, it is important to use appropriate fittings and connectors that are rated for underground use. These fittings are designed to be watertight and prevent moisture from entering the raceway. The NEC also requires that underground raceways be properly grounded to provide a path for fault current and protect against electrical shock. Grounding ensures that any fault current will flow back to the source and trip a circuit breaker or ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, device, de-energizing the circuit and preventing electrical shock. The NEC provides detailed requirements for grounding and bonding electrical systems. These requirements are designed to minimize the risk of electrical shock and fire. Proper grounding and bonding are essential for the safe operation of electrical systems. In addition to the specific requirements for underground installations, the NEC also includes general requirements for electrical wiring. These requirements cover topics such as conductor sizing, overcurrent protection, and wiring methods. It is important to be familiar with these general requirements as well as the specific requirements for underground installations. When installing electrical wiring, it is always advisable to consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector. These professionals can provide guidance on the appropriate wiring methods and materials for the specific application. They can also ensure that the installation complies with the NEC and local codes. Compliance with the NEC is essential for ensuring the safe operation of electrical systems. Failure to comply with the NEC can result in electrical hazards, property damage, and even personal injury. It is important to take the time to understand the NEC and follow its requirements carefully. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and best practices. It is important to stay up to date on the latest edition of the NEC and any local amendments. Local jurisdictions may have additional requirements that go beyond the NEC. These local requirements are often based on specific environmental conditions or local building codes. It is important to be aware of these local requirements and comply with them. The National Electrical Code is not just a set of rules, it is a comprehensive guide to electrical safety. It is based on years of experience in research, and it represents the best thinking of electrical experts from around the country. By following the NEC, you can help ensure the safety of yourself, your family, and your community. When it comes to electrical installations, there is no substitute for knowledge and experience. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician. Electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take the necessary precautions to avoid electrical shock and fire. Always turn off the power before working on any electrical circuit. Use insulated tools and wear appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as gloves and safety glasses. If you are not sure about something, ask a qualified electrician for help. Electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By following the NEC and taking the necessary precautions, you can help prevent electrical hazards and ensure the safe operation of electrical systems. In conclusion, installing NM cable underslab without proper protection and adherence to NEC guidelines can lead to violations and potential safety hazards. Understanding and complying with NEC Articles 314.16a, 350.22b, and 350.22g is crucial for ensuring safe and code-compliant electrical installations. Always consult with qualified professionals to ensure adherence to local codes and regulations.